Well, every year, programs are open for business when it comes to those landing spots looking for the future leader. But how does that impact some of those recruits, some of those hot destinations out there? You just saw in the SEC, you got Florida. Over in the Big Ten, you got two of them, UCLA and Penn State. And then the ACC, a very interesting one, Virginia Tech trying to get back to one of those powerhouses when it comes to college football. But take a look. We got a long list. Let me see, 6, 9, 10 places. And that 10th one there, the newest one, open for business when it comes to Billy Napier out. Others, James Franklin, we saw about that. Sam Pittman when it comes to Arkansas, all the way up down when it comes to Kenny Burns out at Kent State. So plenty of destinations, but how does that impact some of those recruits? Well, for more of that, I want to tap in with the fellas, Brandon Huffman and Tom Lloyd, to give us a 4-on-1. And guys, let's dub this the top 5 college jobs in terms of attracting recruits. Starting at number 5, Virginia Tech, as I mentioned there. Brandon, you first.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what it was 10, 15 years ago under Frank Beamer. Obviously, the ACC has expanded. They've got schools from Texas and California in it. You've got the Florida schools that are there. And you do have a good recruiting base in the state of Virginia, but they're losing a lot of those head-to-head battles. They had to have a call to arms recently to basically say they're going to fund that position and allow for NIL to be more prominent in their recruiting. But given its location, given the fertile recruiting base of the state of Virginia, and being in the ACC, this is still a top 5 job based on recruiting. It's not in the top 4, but it has the potential to move up on this list just given its geography and now its committed resources to the program.
Yeah, Huffman nailed it. I mean, there's so much talent in the Virginia area, the DMV. I mean, this is a place with an incredible home field advantage. I mean, there's a history of success there with Frank Beamer. I mean, this is a place that is, in my opinion, kind of a sleeping giant. So with the right resources, putting the money into the program, I believe that you can win and win quickly with the right head coach at Virginia Tech.
So we'll see how that pans out there when it comes to Von Tech. Elsewhere, number 4, you have UCLA that's kind of woken up a little bit lately, Tom, with a few wins under the belt.
You know, it's in the Big Ten. You play the best of the best every week. Brandon knows better than anybody that you basically need to recruit Mater Dei and St. John Bosco right there in Southern California, and you can win a lot of games just with the talent in that area, in the Trinity League. So it's a loaded, fertile recruiting ground. I think, again, UCLA is one of those programs. Growing up in Burbank and Southern California myself, when UCLA is good, it's good for college football. So the right hire, whether it's somebody like a Mike Oko, a Lane Kiffin, a guy that's got a history of winning and strong tradition, that does things the right way, I really, really believe that quickly, and I'm talking 2 years possibly, and who knows, maybe the right hire is already there on staff at UCLA with Tim Skipper, but I do believe that UCLA can win a lot of football games and they can turn things around. They just have to put money into the program.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Southern California as well. When UCLA is cooking, they can recruit as well as anybody. They had top 5 classes under Jim Mora, and then Chip Kelly just ignored recruiting, relied on the portal. It worked out to an extent in that some of those players that they lost recruiting battles to from Southern California would go abroad and then would bounce back, but you can't do that anymore. You've got to recruit locally. And like Tom said, you've got to recruit Mater Dei. You've got to recruit Bosco, and that's what Jim Mora did really well. Deshaun Foster was trying to emphasize that, but you've got the resources, you've got the location, you've got the Big Ten, you've got all the metropolitan market that you can sell. Now you just need a head coach that's going to put the effort in like Deshaun Foster was trying, like Jim Mora did, but complete opposite of how Chip Kelly approached it. And that's what killed a lot of the recruiting momentum that Jim Mora built. A new coach in that program, in that location, with the resources in the Big Ten could really do well, and that's what we have at number 4.
So that's the Big Ten. Over in the SEC, it's always difficult, no matter if your name is not Alabama and Georgia of the world. It's Arkansas at number 3. Brandon, what about them?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Arkansas, again, it may not have the recruiting base that Texas A&M has, that Florida has, that Georgia has in its state, but there is some talent in the state of Arkansas, and they have the resources. They were able to get John Calipari away from Kentucky on the basketball side, so now on the football side, they have the resources. You've got 2 of the biggest donors in the world that are raised right there that are Arkansas fans, with the Waltons, with Walmart, with Tyson, and those were big reasons why John Calipari made the move for basketball. But that's a school that wants to win in football. Yeah, having Texas in the conference, having Oklahoma in the conference has made it a little bit more difficult, and that's one thing Arkansas had over them. But given its proximity to Texas, given its resources, and especially in 2025, the importance of those resources, being that it's an SEC program, that's what we've got at number 3.
I'm going to keep this one very simple. It's in the SEC. They already have the advantage. When you talk to recruits all over the country, they love playing in the SEC. That's what they want to play, the best of the best. Looking at Arkansas, they have a tremendous fan base and support, top down. I mean, everybody supports this program. It is essentially the NFL team. They treat it like that. And in the end, I just think that this is a place that can win a lot of games. I just think they need to find the right hire once again. Candidly, they just need to go out, spend whatever they can, get John Gruden, and start winning again.
Oh, John Gruden going to Arkansas. All right, we're going to tape that and keep that on the reel there. Number 2, we go back to the Big Ten and Penn State. They've never really had a problem with recruits, but Brandon, what about them there?
Yeah, I mean, Penn State's got, a great proximity to the Eastern Seaboard. It's got the state of Pennsylvania. It's got a presence in the Big Ten. It's been a top 10 program for the last 15 years. It's got history. It's got tradition. It's got 110,000 people that show up at games. It's got a reputation. It's got one of the most dynamic players in all of the NFL that calls Penn State his alma mater. So there's so many natural resources. This was the top spot up until a week ago, but with everything that Penn State has, the commitment to funding the program, with all the players that came back this year building for a national championship run, those resources were available. James Franklin recruited well. He recruited with restrictions at Vanderbilt, got to Penn State, and really recruited nationally. You look at their offensive line, they've got players from all 4 ports out of the country. And so Penn State, with its resources, with its pretty fertile recruiting base in the state of Pennsylvania, but its proximity to the East Coast, to Maryland, to the DMV, and now its presence in the West Coast with the Big Ten, you would think that Penn State would be a no-brain job offer that the coaches want to take just from what the recruiting access would be.
Penn State is a special place. I mean, I've lived in Pennsylvania for basically half my life, and everybody loves Penn State. It's really not even close when you look at the battle between Penn State and Pitt. I mean, James Franklin did a tremendous job. We've talked about it for weeks on this very show, that you better have the right hire if you're going to replace him. So now we'll see what Penn State decides to do. But on the recruiting front, I love what they've done. They recruit nationally. Obviously, their focus is in-state and in the Midwest and on the East Coast, but they are not afraid to go toe-to-toe with the best of the best nationally. They have an incredible, passionate fan base that absolutely loves me. That is complete sarcasm. But Penn State is a special place. They do a great job there, and I think that they need to do everything I can. I'll throw another name out there. They need to do everything possible to spend and go get Mike Elko, because he's got Northeast ties. He's got a ton of respect for Penn State. He's probably not going to love that I throw his name out there, but this is the right hire for Penn State, in my opinion.
Speaking of special for number 1, I want to toss it to your 24/7 intern. You had no idea you had Brandon and Tom. 1 second. I want to toss it to him, our Florida guy.
Hello, Brandon. Hello, Tom. My name is Zach Aldridge. I am a 2012 proud graduate of the University of Florida, Bachelor of Science in Telecommunications. If Penn State is a special place, then our number 1 school has to be what? What's better than special other than the University of Florida? Brandon, I'll allow you to have the honors first.
I mean, you're in the state of Florida. You're right there next to Georgia. These guys that most of their coaches remember the Urban Meyer era at Florida, where, they were on the front page of the sports page and the news section too, for that matter. But we grew up in an era. I grew up in the 90s when Danny Werfel was winning Heisman trophies. This is a program that's had recent history of national championships. It's been consistent. And then for whatever reason, Dan Mullen gets there, leaves Mississippi State because he wanted better access to players. And then he just didn't focus on recruiting. But you go back to the Urban Meyer year, Florida would finish with the top 2 or 3 class. They were where Georgia is right now. They were where Alabama is right now. Each and every year, they'd go up to the East Coast. They would go out to the West Coast. They would go into Texas. Florida has the access and the name recognition. It also doesn't hurt that they've got a national championship basketball team, so people are talking about Florida year round. The right person there could recruit at a level not seen since Urban. The wrong person there should be able to recruit at a level not seen since Urban. It's a matter of putting in that effort to do so. And you're seeing with Miami putting their money into recruiting. You're seeing Florida State doing it. Florida can do that, and probably even more so with the access to the state of Florida, with the access to Georgia, and with that national brand. There's a reason that this was the easiest number 1 of this cycle.
I would absolutely put them number 1 as well. Florida is an incredible place, and it's an absolute hotbed for the elite talent across the country. What I liked most about what Billy Napier did was he was so focused on relationships. He cared about his players. You looked at Instagram, you look at Twitter, all of these messages from current guys that are saying, wishing him well, wishing him the best, because he truly poured his heart into recruiting. Now, Development was a different story. They didn't win enough games on the field. I get it. But the next head coach needs to bring the development aspect. You are going to recruit at a high level at Florida, no matter who is there. If I go there, I think we're going to have a top 25 class. It's just that simple. But you have to develop these guys, and you have to take that to the next level. So you need to find a guy. And Lane Kiffin's another guy that gets thrown out there for a good reason. He wins a lot of games. He's got a dynamic offense, and he cares about the players he recruits. I think he's a perfect hire for Florida. You need somebody like that in Gainesville because they have such a history of tradition, of winning, of success, of national championships. Florida is an incredible job, and they need to win, and they need to find the right hire quickly.
That last conference title, 2008, so we shall see. I want to say thank you to our Florida fan and Tom and Brandon for chiming in on that top 5. Of course, the article is online. You can check out. But don't forget, you can also check out the fellas when it comes to college football on YouTube. All you got to do is subscribe.
Don't forget. Make sure you don't forget.
We're not going to forget to check it out on YouTube. Use the QR code, as you can see.